Hey everyone, it's Ivan, kitbadger.com, out here for another course loadout from recent Low-Vis pistol and Low-Vis carbine with Runenation. We'll go ahead and start with kind of the mundane clothing, stuff like that. And I guess before we get there, again, took everything to and from class. This guy right here, which is a CC12 by Prometheus Design Works, ruggedized, essentially container to hold a 12-gallon container, and makes it really handy, easy to store stuff and transport stuff. So as far as footwear for the class, I was using these. These are the Speed Assault 2 by Salomon. They're made, I believe, exclusively for US Elite gear. They're pretty cool. I actually wore them in the Modern Minutemen class. Oh, getting some gravel out there. Wore them in the Modern Minutemen class. They did not perform super well because there was a bunch of high grass. This traction did not work well with that. We spent a bunch of time on the range running around in gravel. They did really good there as far as footing goes. And yeah, no complaints. I will say, even though I feel like these seal up pretty good, still got some gravel in there, but I think pretty much everyone there ended up with some gravel in their shoes. But wore those, did good for me. Clothing, 2 different days, and it was crazy hot. I think it was probably the hottest it's been to date up here in North Idaho. Basically over 100, low hundreds, and it was hot. So day 1, went ahead and rocked these guys. These are by Prometheus Design Works. I want to say all the pockets are pushed out, just washed them. I think these are their Odyssey cargo shorts. So they have Raider cut and then Odyssey. And the Odyssey actually has like a cargo pocket on either side, which worked well. Kept my tourniquet in there, RMT, and other stuff. And the thing I like also is, this being a Low-Vis class, I wasn't carrying any like mag pouches or anything like that. Drawing from pockets, and the way they actually do their pockets is on the inside of their pocket. This is going down inside the pant, and pretty much whether it's these, their Raider cut stuff, pants, shorts, anything, they're all the same. So on the both front pockets, you have a smaller internal pocket, which is really handy depending on what you carry, whether it's chapstick or a little pin, like I carry my Fisher Space Pin. I'll put stuff in there and it's there when I reach in for it. It's not floating around in the larger pocket. So reloads, I would go ahead and throw my magazine for my pistol, which we'll get to later, and it was always there, oriented correctly for me to basically reach down in there, pull that thing out for reloads, which pretty nice. So ended up wearing these shorts and then this pretty sweet shirt from Tactical Distributors, Frogskin camo, one of my favorites, in part just my time in the Marine Corps, and yeah, I think it's a cool historic pattern, so wore this shirt too. As far as the belt to carry my gun and stuff, I was wearing this. It is the Agonic Belt. I want to say Drew from Bear Solutions ended up kind of creating this, I think, and it's pretty cool. There's basically all these cells, they all stretch, you cut it, burn it to length. I'll eventually do a review on it, and then on the inside to actually like clip your holster into, because again, this thing's not rigid, there's basically this movable piece of carbon fiber. I was shooting other strong side, and basically, yeah, strong side. So other strong side, strong side. So I was drawing from my holster, which we'll go into in a minute. So I was not carrying an appendix, we'll say. With that, I found I had to eventually stop and tape this down, because moving this would kind of come up, start to dig in. Did not feel very good. I think that is largely eliminated if you wear this as an appendix belt, but I was not shooting an appendix, so that was a thing. But that wrapped up kind of my clothing for day 1. Day 2, I was like, man, I'm gonna be shooting an AK, 3-stripe life. Let's do this thing. So had this guy, which is awesome. My Adidas tracksuit. Had this, of course, my matching pants, 3-stripe life. But of course, we also can't wear belts with these, and you still got to carry a pistol. So I ended up running this guy right here, which is by Spiritus Systems. I think it's their Mark III Fanny sack. And yeah, it's basically a fanny pack. But I have a compartment here, main compartment, where I was keeping my pistol, and then this front pouch was keeping a spare magazine, and then on it, these guys right here, which are the Lumimod Washers. They're pretty cool, they glow in the dark, and more importantly, I can look down and be like, okay, cool, this is my main compartment, or for that matter, make it easier to grab, pull it open, reach in, draw the pistol out. And there's a provision down here, which I ended up using for carrying a tourniquet. This being my RMT, which on day 1, I carried again in that cargo pocket, and day 2, carried it on my person on that fanny sack. Gotta say, I really like rocking a tracksuit, especially shooting an AK, because it's fun. You're like, Evan, why would you do that though? Why would you play dress up? Same reason you dress up and we're multicam to the range, because dressing up is fun. Honestly, as far as heat goes, I didn't really notice a big difference from day 1 to day 2, whether it was shorts and that awesome shirt from Tactical Distributors or this tracksuit. Either way, it was hot. Just got to stay on top of being hydrated. As far as kind of personal protective equipment goes, you're pro. I oftentimes end up wearing over-ear hearing protection, amplified, my Optical amps, which I really like. But again, over 100 degrees, did not really just want to sweat into the gel cups. So I ended up actually wearing these guys right here. And these are the in-ear hearing protection from Optical that are made to go in conjunction with their amp headset. They're the NFMI, Near Field Magnetic Induction, I believe. So basically when you're wearing these and you have your Optical amp over the top, you press the little button and then it transfers through. So you can, again, have amplified hearing protection with in-ear hearing protection, which I didn't, again, double up here, but it's actually really nice if you're shooting around really loud guns or your gun's really loud, especially with carbines where maybe sometimes it breaks that seal. They do a really good job. But I was actually pleasantly surprised. All day, comfortable, just wearing them as in-ear hearing protection, and they did a great job for me. iPro. I was looking around, I'm like, man, I really need to replace my shooting glasses because they're so scratched up. And then I forgot, and I found these that I bought, again, just for fun. And I haven't worn them almost, like, I haven't worn them much at all. So consequently, super clean, nice lenses. And it's basically like high definition because there's no scratches. And I wore these, my sweet Aviators. And yes, they are ballistic. I actually ordered them through Zenni Optical a while ago. And if you want, you can get ballistic lenses, like ballistic prescription lenses. You can obviously put them in any frame. Probably better suited putting them into actually like a safety frame that actually wraps around more. But again, out there having fun. I will say wearing these, Ian's like, why are you all pissed off all the time? I'm like, what? No, these are just glasses, man. Definitely changed perceptions. As far as pistols go, day 1, we're shooting this, my space gun. Right here is my FO3 4 to 3 o'clock holster by Black Point Tactical. Size for a Glock 17, I was using that. And this. Glock 19 sent out from shooting surplus. On here, I have the Radian Afterburner comp and barrel. And then Hollow Sun, this was made specifically for primary arms, uses their ACSS reticle, which is awesome. There's a huge ring in there. And especially shooting unconventional positions like under stuff, bring the gun up. If you see any part of it, you can immediately make those corrections, and worked out really good. Magazines, used a mix of these Magpul as well as factory Glock magazines. All of them did a good job. Largely shooting this 158 grain subsonic. is by Fiocchi, and then also some, I think it was like 115 grain steel case, like Wolf or something like that. And yeah, this pistol did pretty good for me. I will say towards the end of the day, like we'd been shooting a lot, and it was getting to where it wouldn't, of course it won't do it now, it wouldn't go fully into battery. And I'm like, what is going on with this? Well, it was really dirty and really dry. I don't think I've ever cleaned this thing. And so I ended up basically pulling the slide off, took some Lucas gun lube with their little syringe, threw some basically on the little rails and on the barrel where basically that surface sliding there, and ran like a charm after that. So I guess you should probably maintain guns, even Glocks. But for day 2, I wasn't going to use this because there's no belts in 3-stripe life, meaning I was going to be rocking this, which I could, if I wanted to, basically figure out a holster that would fit in there, and then, I don't know, probably pull this piece off, put a lanyard on there so I could rip this gun out, but I didn't want to do that. And I also didn't want to carry it without a round in the chamber, so I had to pull it out and charge it. So went with the safest possible pistol you could ever carry. This guy right here, original box. My HK P7 M8 squeeze cock. So this thing, once you end up loading it, right here, depress it, about 12 pounds to cock it, another 3 to hold it. That's the firing pin saying, hey, we're ready to go. Once you let go, it decocks it. And unless you get 12 pounds of pressure to do that, and then to come in here and to press the trigger, it will not go off. So ended up having this thing loaded and basically kept it in here as my holster. Unzip that thing, pull it out, squeeze it to cock it, break my shots if I needed to, unzip this, reach in here, pull a mag out for a reload, and yeah, roll on. And then we have my bag. So day 2, carbine portion, again, Low-Vis, basically drawing guns from some sort of bag. So I was using this right here by Tasmanian Tiger. It is a sling bag, and as you can see down here, we can attach it for left-handed, other strong side carry, or right-handed. So went ahead, set it up to draw left-handed, and then it actually comes with some of these different colored pieces of 550 cord. I mainly put these up here just to differentiate from the ones that I was actually going to use to draw my gun, which are these right here for the main compartment. Again, using these Lumimod washers. And then this over here, again, another separate color, basically unzipped here, allowed me to reach in, and I would actually keep my reload in here. So I have a mag stashed in there, so if I need to reload, unzip that, reach in, draw this thing out. As far as this case, the way it'd work, sling it around in front of myself, grab these guys and unzip this, expose my gun, reach in, pull this thing out and get it going. I'll show you guys more of this in 1 second. One more note with respect to this bag is you can actually mount stuff all over. There's PALS compatible everything on here, as well as storage inside here. But I actually use this storage space to mount this guy right here, which is the IFAK from Live the Creed, and you can use it obviously on a war belt, something like that. I put it on here, unclip it there, rip this thing out, and you have all your med gear. So since I actually have duplicate med gear, went ahead and did a little hip pocket class at the class when we were talking med stuff, and used it and then refilled this thing. In my AK, I was shooting this Bernal 123 grain full metal jacket. Stuff ran like a champion. And magazines, shot a bunch of different magazines. They all did good. One of which was this guy right here, Magpul, their 20 round AK mag, in part because I would basically keep this one in the bag when the gun was in the bag. So this being my quick hatch from Rifle Dynamics, pull this thing out, boom, flip that stock. This is the Q Fix Stock with their pick adapter, which is pretty sweet. And it would come out of the bag already on fire. So all I had to do was, again, flip that stock, charge this thing, and go to work. On here for an optic, this one by Primary Arms, their new RS10. Basically, their kind of foray into pistol optics does, however, come with a pick rail adapter. So I went ahead, and because it sits so low, actually works really well on here. And yeah, shot this thing the entire class. On this, I actually have the Rearden 3-prong flash hider. Does it hide the flash? Not really, out of a 9-inch 7.62 by 39. It's still pretty blasty. So since this actually marries up with like all the Q pattern stuff, cans and the like, went ahead and put this guy on here, which is their whistle tip, and basically blast forwarding device. And then this little grip stop right here, or hand stop rather, by Slate Black Industries, did a good job. And back here, this was my sling by Tactical Distributors. It is their lead Sling-Er, clever play on words, and attached it up front here with one of the U-loops from Blue Force gear. And then back here went through basically a slot they actually have on the Q stock. And then I'm blanking on who makes these. They're basically these little, kind of like Ranger bands, but you can actually undo them. Like there's a little buckle basically. You take them apart. I have this one tied on here, and I would just shove my sling into it. So it would be nice and out of the way when I pulled this thing out to deploy it out of the bag. This thing did awesome. I did have one weird malfunction that I still don't really know what happened. I was shooting other strong side over the top of a barricade, basically like this. And I'm not sure if this was reciprocating into the barrel, because it reciprocates, and it was causing some weird malfunction. Again, just turn it, charge it, and back into the fight. I will say these are pretty nice during the block on malfunctions. You kind of pretty much clear it either by just charging it or pull a mag out, charge it, mag in, load it, and shoot. Like there's no bolt override or anything like that. But yeah, this thing was a lot of fun to shoot in that course. Overall, pretty stoked with everything. Really fun class. It was fun to shoot my P7 M8 again. And yeah, everything performed. Yeah, ran into a little issue with my Glock. Apparently, even Glocks need maintenance sometimes. And yeah, no, I had a lot of fun out there. Even being able to rock a tracksuit in an AK, because shooting can be fun, lest we forget. No, overall, pretty pleased with gear setup on both days, and yeah, just had a good time out there. But lastly, if you appreciate my content and want to support it, greatly appreciate it. Whether it's liking and sharing videos or going over to kitbadger.com, picking up KBAT target pads, stickers, patches, things like that, or supporting me directly through Patreon. Really appreciate it. Little as $1 a month, gets you early access to videos, some exclusive stuff, and if you have questions for me, happy to answer them over there. But as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.